Hello everyone. You are about to hear a short summary of the movie Jarhead 2. Enjoy watching it. An American outpost came under attack by the Taliban. A supply team arrived just in time, bringing not only provisions but also ammunition. Staff Sergeant, let me give them some. Do you want to help get in the truck and unload the toilet paper? The senior sergeant was shot at with a grenade launcher, which left him without a leg. The man bled to death and died on the spot. The empty trucks returned to base. In 2013, there were 68,000 American soldiers in Afghanistan. The major offered the corporal a beer in honor of his fallen comrade and then got down to business. Is your wife pregnant? Yes, sir. I'm afraid you'll miss the birth. After all, Chris has been appointed the new commander of the supply team. It's a very difficult job. They have to deliver cargo to the most dangerous and remote points. Besides, Chris has had enough of fighting. His contract is ending. The man took a shower. He will leave for a new mission tomorrow. Before going to bed, Chris called his wife. She asked her husband not to renew his contract under any circumstances. Chris told his men that he was their new commander. Sorry, old man. You are quite worthy. The squad equipped itself for another trip. They are about to visit an extremely dangerous area. The platoon will be accompanied by Khalid Faisal, a private in the Afghan National Army. Kedner called the man a damn mujahid. Private Faisal was trained just like you, and he deserves your respect. Chris put the Afghan in the car next to Kedner. Kedner isn't happy that Faisal will have a weapon. Corporal Kedner suspects that you are a terrorist. And you can shoot us all. I do not intend to harm anyone here, sir. I am satisfied. Can you tell by me? The trucks accompanied by a Humvee set off for the outpost. They were driving along one of the most dangerous routes. The convoy stopped because of a pile of trash on the side of the road. The ground nearby was also dug up. It was possible that an improvised explosive device was planted there, so they would have to wait for the sappers. Machine gunner Soto was ordered to look out for snipers. 2 hours passed. Everyone was languishing in the heat. It was unknown when the sappers would arrive. Faisal got mad and decided to check for himself what kind of trash was there. However, the Afghan refused to follow the order and returned to the vehicle. Kedner ran after him. I see a 12 o'clock pressure cap. Stop before you blow me up. What about me? What about you? Tell him not to touch the embankment. Suddenly a local resident appeared from behind the hill and picked up a mobile phone. The corporal was ready to shoot him, but Faisal persuaded the man to throw the mobile phone on the ground. Why does our Dushman need a phone? Probably texting a friend. Faisal took out a pair of wire cutters and crawled up to the IED, which turned out to be an ordinary radio. However, there was something else there. The radio was just a cover, homemade. The charge was about 20 kilograms. The corporal demanded that Faisal not touch anything, but he still bit the wire, for which he got hit on the head by Kedner. If you do anything else, I will finish you off myself. The column was able to continue on its way and soon entered Taliban territory. They had another 70 kilometers to go, but suddenly their way was blocked by their own. 2 Navy SEALs asked to pick them up. They urgently needed to evacuate an Afghan woman. After driving a little more, the detachment was ambushed. 2 trucks shot 2 of them with a Kalashnikov machine gun. The truck itself fell off a cliff. Soto himself and refused to sit behind the machine gun. He was replaced by Navy SEAL Jack Fox. He let the others get out of the car and start shooting back as well. The Taliban's ranks started thinning out, but one of them pulled out an RPG. First the Humvee was blown up, then the second truck. The last vehicle was blown up by a grenade. The Americans are at a disadvantage. They have to shoot back and constantly move. Soto hides behind a rock and does nothing. Fox ordered everyone to load their underbarrel grenade launchers and fire at the enemy at once. Soto was surrounded. 2 fighters rushed to save him and were seriously wounded. Suddenly he died in front of the coward Lee. Lee, get up, you're alive. One of the SEALs also bled out in seconds. Soto walked up to the wounded Taliban and shot him point blank. He's not afraid of opponents like this. The survivors need to leave immediately. An entire army will be here soon. We're unlikely to help you. We're carriers, not special forces. Now it's special forces. Faisal collected the dog tags from the dead. They were left without wheels and without communication. And the mission has changed. The supply men now need to protect this mysterious Afghan woman. The unit stopped for a rest only at night. Faisal knows who this woman is. He promised Anush that he would not hand her over to the Taliban. I don't trust the doorman. He shot, and they shot at him. I still wouldn't have invited him to dinner. Soto burst into tears. After all, privately died because of him, but it's not your fault, it is. Fear can attack anyone. The major was informed that the caravan did not reach the base and was completely destroyed. -1 soldiers were killed. Among them was a Navy SEAL who had evacuated valuable cargo the day before. They need to find the survivors before they are finished off. Don't bury them, they are Marines. Supply Marines. The Special Forces soldier pointed Chris to a village 20 kilometers away. If they get there, they will survive. The police captain is a good man and will help them. Who are we protecting? It does not matter. But she must survive. The squad descended into the valley. Daniela hopes to see her daughter again someday, but today the chances of this have sharply decreased. Anisha said that her parents sent her to study abroad. According to the Taliban, this was a violation of the traditions of Sharia. Therefore, as punishment, they executed Anisha's younger sister. Suddenly a shot rang out. A sniper is working on them. The squad hid in the grass. Fox began to examine the area with binoculars and soon spotted 2 shooters. They are out of reach from here. They will have to close the distance. Fox and Chris will do this. The last stretch, the Marine will have to crawl on his own. Fox will go around the snipers on the flank. At this time, he runs towards their position as fast as he can. Fox managed to get behind and break one Mujahideen. Chris, who had arrived in time, pounced on the second during the hand-to-hand combat. Both Americans had a hard time, but in the end Fox stabbed his opponent to death, and the Marine beat his to death with a rock. Now Chris needs to pull himself together. Until yesterday, he had never even shot at anyone. The main thing is that we survive, not them. Fox encouraged Corporal. We need to focus on the mission. The squad moved on and came across opium poppy fields. And where is the mag? The Taliban are there. A pickup truck with Afghans actually appeared on the road. The machine gunner opened fire on the Mujahideen. The Mujahideen were in the open, so they were quickly killed. But then a second car appeared. For some reason, Fox decided to close the distance and was riddled with bullets. When all the Taliban were eliminated, the Special Forces soldier asked to bring him the mag to relieve the pain before he died. He asked Chris to save him, and he needed to at all costs. Soto thinks that they need to get out, not save some Afghan woman. But Noosh said that she fights for women's rights. She is one of the symbols of the fight against the Taliban, which is why the Mujahideen want to kill her so much. With all due respect, this is not our mission, now ours. Chris ordered the platoon to head towards the village of Manor. The locals were not happy with such guests. The Americans point guns at them and break into houses, checking if there are militants there. USA. We have to know mood. Get out. Someone started filming them on a video camera. 2 policemen with Kalashnikovs ran out of another building, but quickly made it clear that they did not intend to shoot. They invited the Americans to talk inside. He continues to film them all on camera. The police chief promised to help contact the base and at the same time began to ask about Anush. If the Afghan woman is not their prisoner, she must remain in the village until the policeman receives an order from above. The major is furious because of the sandstorm. He can't do anything to help his people. He also learned that the load is currently being guarded by Marines. Come on, Hassan. The name sounds familiar. Who is she? She fights for women's rights. A hero to the people of the country. The Taliban want to kill her and save her. Washington, yeah. Good PR, and they need the keynote speaker for the UN summit. She needs to be delivered to New York within 2 days. Kettner keeps his gun on the cameraman all the time. It was suspiciously quiet, but suddenly it became very funny. Several cars with armed men drove into the village. The military is preparing to accept the fight. Although the enemy significantly outnumbers them, it soon became clear that it was the film buffs who gave up. The corporal hopes that this time Soto is ready to fight. Chris looked out for a second and blew up the first Mujahideen with a grenade launcher. The others started shooting at the house. The police also have to fight back. One of them was immediately knocked down. A few seconds later his partner went to the next world too. Daniela is the best shooter in the squad, so she was assigned to take out the machine gunner. Kettner began to clear the street. Meanwhile, the grenade launcher, Soda loaded his gun and successfully caught the shell with his chest. It was blown to pieces along with the house. The Mujahideen jumped inside and grabbed the Nush. The Marines were stunned, so they were unable to stop them. For some reason they did not finish off the Americans, but simply drove off with the activists. The mission was a failure. The sad soldiers left the village. What next? We go after her. 4 of us against a whole crowd of Taliban. Faisal said that only thanks to people like Anish do the people of Afghanistan gain hope. The man knows that she will be stoned to death tomorrow, so they need to hurry. In the middle of the night, the Marines infiltrated the Taliban base. At dawn, Anish was dragged out of the dungeon and brought to a high tower where she was hung by her hands. The leader laid out a rug and began to pray right in front of the captive. Meanwhile, the squad gradually moved towards their goal. Nafi finished his prayer and declared that they did not need these Western values. He would die for his betrayal. Too bad such a woman without a husband, without a family, without a country. Shots were heard near the tower. Nafis was going to stab the captive, but Chris eliminated him. Now they needed to somehow get out of here. At some point the Marines were cornered. Kettner decided to distract the enemy so that the others could escape. The fighter was wounded. Faisal pulled him aside and bandaged the wound. A group of pickup trucks was waiting for the Americans by the road. Chris shot them all, put them in the car, and immediately drove away. He and Daniela abandoned their comrades, so Faisal and Kettner were shot with a dozen guns. But the dark-skinned soldier, least of all, wanted to get involved in this mess. But now he will be able to speak at the summit. Chris took her to the American base and had another beer with the major. We who return home never abandon our brothers. Thanks for watching and don't forget to subscribe.